Good evening, everybody. Just a little story for somebody who put a comment up on my last video. Odds and Sods, the kiddies channel is. This is just a little story for all of you. I mentioned on the last video that some guys had to be pulled off Ben Nevis because they went up in a blizzard with trainers with no kit with them, right? And Odds and Sods has said, "Oh, you seen me out in some pretty dire conditions, like, you know what I mean? Not even in a tent." Well, that's true, you know what I mean? And what I said on the answer to him was, well, you know, there's never the wrong weather. It's just having the wrong kit, you know. But I said I would say put a little video up and explain, like, you know, one or two things about myself, right? So little stories for you, right? If you look back on my videos, I think this one it's called is a bit windy. I think that was the last time I was out in really bad weather, really dire weather. And again, we had up this end, we had severe weather warning. It was blowing gales, you know, 80 mile an hour, I think it was, at the end, lashing down with rain, and I was out in it, you know. And what I used to do when I was younger, because like I say, I'm trying to remember if that was the last time. I'm sure that was the last time I was allowed out in bad weather, because the wife just won't take me now. If it's bad, she just won't let me go out and play. So anyway, digress a little bit. There's a place down just along from where I go fishing, right? It's I wouldn't say it's out of the way, but there's a towpath. I think the towpath's about 2 or 3 mile long, right? And halfway along that towpath, there's a big rock, just a big boulder, right? And like I said, it's literally 3-4 yards, no, yeah, about 3-4 yards in from the high tide level, if you know what I mean. You know what I mean? So back up the beach a little bit. But every single winter, and I did this for years, if I wasn't here, I would go out elsewhere. But every single winter, I would go out and spend 48 hours out. 48 hours maximum out. Try to get over the 2 days. Just to keep testing myself rather than testing the kit, you know what I mean? But I just want to make something clear before I go on, right? I'm half sensible, I think. I've got a little idea on what to do and what not to do, right? And I don't take chances. I don't take chances lightly, you know what I mean? So it's something that I did, something I missed, to tell you the truth, right? But down on this where this big rock, I used to call it hard routine rock, right? It wasn't quite doing hard routine, but I would say to myself, right, this is where I've ended up, at this spot. I can't move from out of this spot, and what I've got is what I've got, right? But when I did that, what I always used to do was take a tent with me, or there was always a tent, and I would set the tent up further in a bit, you know what I mean? Just in case it went all to rat shit, you know what I mean? And I had to stop and get off, right? So that's where that comes from, like, you know. And I appreciate the fact that, you know, people watch me and sort of like remember me old videos, saying that, you know, it's more than just once or twice I've done it on I've took the camera out and showed you, like, going out in bad weather, and then, you know, the next day saying, look, you know. But yeah, test yourself within reason, you know. Never the wrong weather, just the wrong kit. Just talking about kit, you know, I showed you these couple little whistles, show you what I've come up with so far, just to give you something to look at rather than stare at my ugly mug. It's one of those little Explorer whistles from Annie Haynes, I think I get them from. Every now and again they do these in the pound shop. It's just a P, it's got a whistle with a P in it. there's a compass on the top there, which I wouldn't. It's turning slowly. He wants to go, but I wouldn't say, right, I've got a compass because that's on there. I don't know if you can make that out there. There's a tiny little bit of ferrocerium rod glued into one of them grooves, right? But the top comes off of these, and there's a, you know, there's a cap, there's a void in there. There's a space in there. You know what I make that out in there? Look. And what I've managed to get in there is this little setup. Now what this is, I've got a couple of half pre-prepared fire wicks. They're from Mad Dog Survival. Brilliant little bits of kit there. So versatile, it's unbelievable. But that's Fire Dog's fire wicks. So a couple of little bits in there, more than enough to get the fire going. Like I say, half prepared, a little bit mashed up. Little ferrocerium rod. Kept the chain on, probably come off. I'll probably put a bit of cord on this. And this here is a little Swiss Army knife. Now this is called the Escort, this little blade. And all you get on there is, look, very small blade. Very small little blade. And little nail file with the screwdriver on. Now I got this with a match striker in mind for sulphur matches, like, you know, not stormproof matches, but strike anywhere matches, like Swanfester type sulphur matches. That was the idea behind me getting this little thing, right? I think it's smaller than the what's those? You know, the smaller ones. I can't remember what they're called. I've got one somewhere. It's a bit smaller than them, and you get a couple of scale tools on it. But I just thought, because that goes in there nicely, it's a bit better than we first thought, which was going to be a pencil sharpener blade. If you put a pencil sharpener blade in, you've got to get a little tie wrap to give you something to hold on to. Whereas, you know, these are the kind of ferrocerium rods that come out your tin. You know, your little Tinkerbell tin. Your little pocket tin kit. That's called a Ranger, I think. Well, that's what I come up with, and I'm seriously thinking about keeping with that little setup because it works. That works. So get them in there. He says. Not overly jam-packed, you know what I mean? Excuse me. So that's what I come up with. So it's just a little story for you. There's one thing talking about being able to do it, and there's another thing being actually being able to do it, right? I don't push myself to any extremes anymore. I just don't do that, you know what I mean? There's a limit, there's a safety cap on these days, you know. I just won't take unnecessary risks or chances. If the weather is going to be particularly bad, you know what I mean? And I know it is, I'll always carry extra kit with me. Always carry extra kit. Because I don't, you know, I'm a very big believer in getting your hands dirty, just actually getting your kit. That's why I say sometimes, you know, people see me, I'll buy 2 of this and 3 of that. Like the ferrocerium rods, just for instance, there's a ferrocerium rod there, right? Now, doesn't matter which one it is, right? This just happens to be a BCB grand, the bigger one, right? It's a decent sized little fella seam rod, right? But I haven't got one to hand. Polymath products sell 2 for a tenner, right? And their fella seam rods are a bit shorter, but a bit fatter, and they're good rods, as it happens, they're good rods. But the point being is, if you're going to buy a fella seam rod, right, first of all, I suggest that you need more than one anyway. Go for the biggest one that you're happy with, right? But buy a couple of smaller ones like this, right? And the reason why I say buy one or buy more than one is if you're new to this going outdoors, buy one with the sole purpose of just using it continuously, using it, right? So you get to know the tool, or at least you get to memorize, like, you know, some people pull back, some people go forward. I was taught to put the feather seam rod and lock the feather seam rod in my left hand and use my right hand to strike, where lots of people will do that or they do that. I'm quite adept with using both my hands. I wouldn't say I'm truly ambidextrous, but I can use my left hand, you know. There's another thing about me, you know, little stories about me going out and all that. Try to get your weak hand, get rid of it, put it in a sling, put it on your arm, whatever, and then spend a couple of hours just using your left hand, your weaker hand, to make a cup of coffee, put your clothes on. You sharp find out that with an injury, any kind of injury, easy things can become tricky, right? And they can take an extremely long time. So that's why I always say to people, at least buy 2 feather seam rods. One of them is solely just to, not when you're going out, just get in your back garden. Right, this is how it works. This is what I can do. That's, you know, I can get it to do that. I can get it to do this. You know, and you know, your little tinder bundles. Something else, tinder bundles. I've seen people, you know, like do all the tinder bundles and everything, and then go in with the feather seam rod and strike it. I'm horses for courses. I'm not saying that's wrong, and I'm not saying it's right, but I'm a great believer in taking the flame to the fire. You know what I mean? Does that make sense to you? You get your flame going first, and then add it into the fire to save you. You know, but then there's always the scenario where they say, right, get a signal fire already, but it just heed what I say, because it's definitely worth learning how to use your kit, right? So yeah, that's just a little one for odds and sods. Like you said, you see me out in some pretty dire conditions. Trust me, I've been out in a lot worse for a lot longer. But yeah, it's got to be done, hasn't it? You know, it's got to be done. Hence the fact when I say I got a little, it's not so much a kit. It's more like, do you know, I'll show you quickly, right? Just if I'm going out in the car and there might be a possibility that I might be looking at a new fishing spot, or, you know, 20 minutes sat in a little lay-by along the country roads, me and the missus, this will just grab with me, and there's really not a lot in it. I added something new just the other day, a couple of things, but just more of a possibles pouch. I changed the string. I had some, I've still got it somewhere. I bought some string. I thought it was decomposable plastic. It's not, so I'm not going to take that out. So I bought some of this recently, so the tin of that went in. But there'd always be a bit of string in there. There, that sure happens to be little odds and sods and offcuts and bits not used of Mad Dog's fire wicks and these jewels. A couple of natural bits of fat wood. I'll probably get a cup of coffee boiling in a lump of fat wood like that, you know. That's like, just like I say. Possibles pouch, nothing spectacular. I've got a shamag in the front of here, or shamag, which way you want to call it. Sweat rag, which just happens to be in black, that one. stove fuel, packet of dry waterproof matches, lighter, tiny little ferrocerium rod, tin. Put the fuel box on the top of the tin there, you know, the lid. That's in there. Like I said, nothing spectacular. In the top here, I've got an Israeli bandage. So I might have a knife with me, you know what I mean? But that's in there. In fact, I might take that out and put it in just a little boo-boo kit. But old habits die hard, you know what I mean? So, actually, this is actually a Dutch mess tin. These are Dutch, these ones, stainless steel. This used to be my old kit, like survival kit type thing. I've changed my box. It's got, I don't know if you'll be able to make it out, but see that white in there? That's cordage. It's white nylon cord. Underneath there, that's cotton triangular bandage. Bit of gaffer tape. Stops the rattle. I was never one for sticking things on the top of the lids, but I've done it there. There's a little storm striker, storm matches striker, storm matches in there, razor blade. Like I said, it's possible as pouch. This is more or less in case I forget something, you know what I mean? It's not like a kit. Spoon, gotta have a spoon. Chem light, I want to change that chem light out to a bigger chem light. Just in case I forgot a ferrocerium rod, there's another ferrocerium rod in there. It's been used a bit, that one. Fire wicks, had to check there, fire wicks. As soon as I got a couple of packets of these, Andy, these went straight in there. And what I took out was your jewels and some magnesium. Like I say, it's not a kit, it's not like a kit, it's just like a possibles type. Oh, I might have forgot that, you know what I mean? This. Little bit of boo-boo on the top there. Nothing spectacular. Nothing spectacular, because I know I've got a bigger bandage in there. I've got me Shimag. I've generally got stuff in my pocket. I think this is my compass. I think this is a compass. Yeah, it is. Look, I've got, well, actually there's two compasses in there. Got I've got a compass tied off to the bag. That there is some polymath products. They're called the nav bead, right? Now, I'm not a big fan on button compasses at all, just at all, right? But these are worth a look. Definitely worth a look. And I've just got mine set up. Pacer beads. Like I say, backup compass. Nothing spectacular. You know, you might be out and you might just say, right, if I did set the camp up here, which way was the sun coming up or whatever, but always knows that I've got a compass in there, so it's a compass. Like I said, take a look at the nav beads, glow in the dark, little glow in the, that glows up quite well, they do. I've had these for a while. Like I said, I've had them in storage, I've had them in quarantine, and I'm quite happy. It just finds north straight away, which is right. Yeah, so I'm happy with them. What just dropped out there is some water purification tablets. Let me just check the date there. 21. So they'll get rotated out, and I use those for sterilising my bottles, and I put some more up-to-date ones in. I buy boxes of 100 at a time, you know, it just makes sense. Pennies, but Puri tabs, polythene bags, little polythene water bags if you like. It's all sort of wrapped up like that. Wrapped up around my compass, keep my compass sort of half safe. Let me just put that back in there. There's a little compass, little bit of water kit, backup compass if you like, and a nav bead with pacer beads on it, all done up. So that goes in there like that. Yeah, little dodge for you, for those people who don't know. See these little bull clips? Bull clips become clothes pegs. I carry them. I don't carry clothes pegs, but I carry bulldog clips so I can get me wash and dry. I've actually got it on a line, you know, and these are strung through a line, but the lines, they're not strung through that I can slide them off, you know what I mean, they're not tied off. But so there's a couple of bull clips. Now these, some of the older guys might know what these are straight away. I carry these and all in a few of my kits. It's a bit difficult to make out, but what these are is the garter stays, you know, for your suspender belt. They're a bit small, these ones, but you can push your top through there like that, click that on, that'll keep a hold of your top, and you've got a loop there so you can peg it out or pin it out or tie it out. That's little suspender belt clips, they are. Look them up. Little dodge for you. You find a sheet of plastic or something, or polythene bag, and you can make tie outs for them. So they're in there. Another chem light. Should be needles in here. No, there's no needles in there. There should be some needles. I'll put some needles in there. I don't know why they're not in there. Bit of tape, bit of gaffer tape. Flexible straw, rubber tubing, because if you were to start using your bags for water, you know, in a pinch, drinking your water out of a bag like that, you can lose everything. So a straw of some kind. I've got stainless steel ones knocking about, and I've got those foldy out silicone ones. So a straw, you know, even a little straw from a drinks bottle, get them, take the straws off your drinks bottle, snip your drinks bottle open, drink them, keep the straw, put them in your tins. Straw, very underrated bit of kit, but stretchy straw and surgical tubing, you could use it for all sorts. Got a burden strap or a string belt, it's just a toggle. You can put wood in there, loop it around, carry it, or use it as a belt. Just a burden strap or a string belt. I've got that in there. Keep that in there. Compulsory zip ties, cable ties. Last but not least, little wire saw. It's a love and hate thing with me with wire saws. Sometimes I think, oh God, I can't, it's pointless taking one, and then sometimes I think I better have that because it's a bit of wire, you know what I mean, and they do work, you know, if you're gentle with them. So hums and haws on that one. Personal lens, eyes are going, super glue, heavy cord, it's like Kevlar-y stuff, cord. Couple of scalpel blades, pair of tweezers. So there you go. That's what's in that tin. Bit of horse wipe, bit of clean up look. Hand gel and tissues. Mad Dog's jewels, lighter, that's a box of matches, another chem light, candle, and this here one of those Halloween balloons or party balloons with a little LED in. You know what I mean? Like a little torch inside there. Told you, load of nonsense. And shelter kit or the survival bag. I don't remember what's in here. Yeah. Not a lot. Survival bag. See these survival bags, the polythene ones, brilliant bit of kit, priceless, right? We were taught to go, you know, you've got the whole open end obviously, right? We were taught to go head first into the bag, and then in one of the corners you would poke out a little vent hole, right? And you would curl up inside that with your feet to the top of the bag, if you like. Do you get my drift? Bottom end of the bag, top end of the bag. You go into the bag head first, so your head would be up here. You put a little breathe hole in there. You get your candle going inside one of them, right? Even if you just sat up inside it like a bag, like people do these days, the heat will go up drastically. You know what I mean? It's another reason why I like those candles in little tins like that. So there's a survival bag in there. 1, 2, 3, 4. You see, that's just overkill. There's 4 packets of these hot hands. Don't know, 4's too many. Just one little blanket. So that was in there. So that's. I've got absolutely no qualms. Well, I didn't have. Like I say, the wife just simply wanted. She just won't drop me off. We've only got the one car. She just simply won't drop me off when it's a bit wet, or windy, or rough conditions. So, but yeah, I don't mind going out and testing myself. You know what I mean? I've got a few things to replace in here. Look, but that's like my little possibles tin bag, whatever you want to call it. And it's the kind of stuff, this is the kind of tin that I've had to go in a few times, you know, because I'm bloody hell, I forgot this or forgot that. I've generally got some tobacco or something and all, you know what I mean? Well, that's it. That's just that. It looks full, but it's not jam packed at all. You know what I mean? It's just, like I say, it's just that's just got. Can you make it out there? It's just got like. It's just got like code. I'm trying to get it so you can see. There you go. Look. See that there? Just wrapped cord around it with a bit of gaffer tape. Triangular bandage, cotton triangular bandage. I sit in my little mess tin like that, and just sort of sits on the top of there like that. You know what I mean? Nothing flash, nothing special. And sometimes what I put in there is I've got a monocular that I spy about with. So that's just a little story for Odds and Sods. The little story's gone on for half an hour. And a little look see what I've done to that. Hope that brings a smile to some people's faces, but you know, test your kit. Like I say, those Milo blankets and all that, carry one of those Milo blankets. If you just go and sit in the back garden right now with one of those Milo blankets on, your shop understand where I'm coming from. You need a lot more than that, really. And something else a lot of people don't realise, if you do go into one of those survival bags, wet and cold, and you've got no way to generate heat, you're going to stay wet and cold in there. So, thanks for the interest. Hope that story's And our stories, like I said, I used to do it in hard routine rock. Yearly, 48 hours, go out. We always had a little hot tent set up, like, not like a fire tent, but tent and sleeping bag and all the kit. I'd be like that, under a poncho.